Hey guys, I wanted to talk today about the levels and the nuances of touch and intimacy and the acts of engagement with another person. And in the idea of, like, it's just easiest for me to grasp when you're in a relationship with someone, in a committed relationship with someone, and then what constitutes as cheating. And I used to think that cheating was the act itself of engaging with another person of the opposite sex or the same sex that I'm interested in. And just the act of holding hands or the act of cuddling or the act of having an arm over the shoulder. Hey, what's up, babe? And then, and obviously then like getting into like, I don't know, what's it like if someone's rubbing your head? If it wasn't my partner, that would feel like that was breaking some kind of code with that person. And then over time, that began to shift. And it started to shift when I just had more and more interactions with people, when I had more and more examples of touch and nudity and expression from the body. Dancing is such a great example of this. But I've learned that there's levels and nuances to the energy and the feeling behind these actions, where the act of holding someone's hand means almost nothing. There's a sense of care and love in that act. But beyond that, it doesn't mean anything as far as being platonic or being romantic or being something else altogether. And so it's really, what is the intention from both people, from both sides? What is the intention? And what is the feeling associated with that action and with that act? And what is the energy kind of being shared between these two people? That's what signifies to me the level of connection, and level of interference, or level of cheating. So how much does that interfere with the energetic bond between you and your couple, or you and your partner? So that's what I've come to understand. And what it really became clear to me is it's like, as I've had more and more experiences, I've been able to see it and feel it, experience it at these different levels of engagement, of like, oh, this energy is like this and this feeling is like that, and I'm with this person in a very caring and loving way, but there isn't anything more happening behind it. And I can engage with these people with a lot of love, what I call open love and free love. And it isn't a love of wanting to be with this person. It is just a free, open love of care and joy and wanting to see this person happy. Just this pure kind of sympathetic joy, as the Dalai Lama says, of seeing this person feel joy themselves, to feel love themselves, and to just be able to be a part of that with them in that moment. But there isn't this drive. There isn't this drive within me to have sex with them. There isn't this drive in me to date them or to take them on a date or something like that. It's just like this very platonic way of loving someone. And I did not know what that was before. I never felt that. Definitely, I've seen no examples of that in my life around my old friend groups and around my parents and my sister. I've never seen any of that until I started to really expand my horizons and go to places where people existed in a different way. And so to me, I had this example in my head, this analogy to alcohol. And so I know some of you probably have not had alcohol, and so this analogy, it might be slightly lost on you, but it's also so poignant that if you haven't had the experience, then you also can't know it, which is yeah, just something to be always aware of. We don't know everything, and to be open to hearing other people who have had experiences beyond your own. And I love hearing the values, the thoughts, and understandings from other people who have been able to explore territories that I haven't had the opportunities to touch yet. And so I give them a lot of benefit of the doubt. I give a lot of faith or interest, at least. Maybe faith is not the right word. That's way too strong. But I give a lot of interest and openness to hearing what they have to say. So in this case with alcohol, um, when I first started to drink, I didn't drink till I was 24, 25. And I started like tasting beer. I was hanging out with my friends. They'd always get beer at restaurants and things. And they'd always say, hey, Mike, try this, try this, try this, try this. And I have 3 or 4 friends. They'd all get a beer and I'd try it. And they all tasted like beer. They all tasted the same. This is beer. Yeah, okay, thanks. It tastes like beer. And they'd always laugh at me and be like, blah, you don't know nothing. And I'm like, yeah, it tastes like beer, you idiots. And then, and then I move on. But after tasting beer after beer after beer just to appease them, and I had like a curiosity about it, eventually I started to taste the differences, the little nuances behind the beer flavor. I could taste this one that was actually a little more hoppy. This one has the hint of orange, and this one has like the chocolatiness to it, and this one's kind of creamy and whatever. And then that same thing happened with wine. I really wanted to try wine. I was like, all right, I'm gonna like wine. I've decided I'm liking wine. And this was like, I think 25. And I bought a whole box, like one of those, every 3 months you get a box of 12 wines. So I'm just gonna buy 12 white wines, and I'm just gonna taste them all, and I'm gonna acquire that taste, and I'm gonna like it. And so same thing, me and my friend who also didn't drink yet, I was like, all right, he jumped on board. It's like, all right, he came over, and we're like, all right, we're gonna get into this. And so we had like a week or two where we're just like drinking wine, and when we first started drinking it, it tastes like wine. It's just, this is wine. It has the flavor of wine, and that's all that's there. And then you keep drinking, you keep sipping, really. I wasn't drinking whole glasses. Sipping and sipping, trying to acquire the taste. And as a matter of fact, did not acquire the taste that first round. And then I put it away for a few months. And I was like, oh, I got the itch again. I'm going to like wine. And I order another box. And then my friend comes over again, and we try again. And this time, for whatever reason, we were able to start to like the wine. But it goes from tasting like wine, just overarching, this is what wine tastes like, to then getting into the nitty gritty of, this is the nuanced flavors of wine. And then you have your sommeliers who can really maybe distinguish these really tiny characteristics and traits. Oh, this is a wine from this region, and there is this amount of rainfall, and there's the oak and butteriness and whatever Chardonnay flavors they want to put in there. And actually, as I'm talking, there's also, so anyway, a sommelier can get to like, you can become this crazy taste expert, and you can really begin to understand and taste these nuances in wine. When before you've had enough experience with wine, it just tastes like wine. It's this very big, broad thing. But once you have enough experience, you can start to understand, ooh, there's all these little levels. There's all these little flavors to it. And that same thing is true in love and in touch and in relation. I used to think, oh, it's all just love. Love is this huge, big thing. And all these acts, it's just love and then passion and lust and stuff that can be behind it. And that's just like, oh, that's all there is. But then I finally have more and more experience. And I'm like, oh, there's love, and there's like this here, and there's this here, and there's that. And it's there's all these little nuances. And now I'm beginning to like, I can hold hands with like I used to, not hold hands with a guy because it's gay. And I never like, oh, it's like, that feels bad. And I was able to overcome that conditioned belief. And I was able to start holding hands with a guy that I had so much love for. And it's completely platonic, and there's no interest in anything else. But we're walking down the street and we're holding hands because we love each other, and we want to show and feel that care between us in the act of hand holding. And so it's just really beautiful at these different layers and different levels of love, and being able to taste those nuances as you experience it more and more and more with an open mind and curiosity, and the ability to have very, very strong inner self-awareness, and very, very strong mindfulness practice, meditation practice. And it's very tough. It's so easy to get lost in lustfulness and in passion and craving, to be with a beautiful person. That sexual energy in us is so powerful. So it does take a lot of practice to be able to move beyond just, oh, I want to have sex, give me sex. That's what it feels like to me. And it does take a lot of practice to move beyond just that innate, very high level love and sex drive, passion, and lust. And to be able to move past that into really, really nuanced love and energetic connection, and I would say like a more spiritual alignment between you and everyone else and other people. So I just thought also, like, there's the beer and the wine example. There's also coffee. When I first started drinking coffee, it just tasted like black, gross coffee. And then I had a girlfriend who loved coffee and loved going to cafes, and she just really wanted me to drink coffee with her. And I was like, okay, let me try a cappuccino. And I was like, okay, that wasn't that bad. Okay, yeah, I'll drink cappuccinos with you. I mean, it makes you happy and it doesn't hurt me. Let's do it. And then I started to really like coffee, and I started to be able to taste very easily distinguishing coffee beans from one another, and being able to say, I like this coffee, I don't like this coffee, and there's these little nuanced flavors of black cherry and chocolate and caramel and whatever, based on the acidity of the bean and everything. And you get these coffee experts who can just really hone in on the flavor, just like the wine Sauvignon. And, well, is that the right word? Sauvignon? Maybe. Correct me in the comments. And but there's people who's experts, and they can really taste the nuances. So in that same way with love and that sexual energy, there's ways to really feel the nuances of connection between you and someone else, and what is that energy, what is that pure, what is the pure intention, the pure connection beyond egoic desire of pleasure. And so I just wanted to put it out there that this is possible, and that it's really beautiful to explore. And I wish you a lot of love and a lot of luck in being able to explore that in an open and curious and loving, mindful way. Love you very much. Namaste.